discussing in our last class was regarding the research methodology and what is a scientific method. Now in this class, mainly we will be focusing on literature review. What is the importance of discussing or going through the previous literature? That idea is known by the name literature review. And this is a very important aspect of research, because unless you know, for example, you are going to study about the birds of Koravalangal or butterflies of Koravalangal, the first thing that you have to do is to understand what is already known about the birds of Koravalangal or butterflies of Koravalangal. So if you know that some one person or a few other students have studied about the birds of or butterflies of Koravalangal in 2020, and they have discovered around 50 species from Koravalangal area, that is a previous knowledge. Now if you are and during your work you are only discovering only 25 species of butterflies, then what people will say, you have not studied properly, because the earlier person has discovered 50 species of butterflies and you are only able to collect only 25 species of butterfly. So that is the problem unless we go into the previous literature. And this process of going thoroughly into the previous literature or previous knowledge of what we already know about that subject or what we already know about that particular topic is known by the name literature review. So there are number of important points regarding literature review. So here you can see that it describes how the proposed research is related to the prior research. As I already told you, you are going to study about something, whether it can be butterflies, birds or anything. And you want to know how your work is going to be important. For example, you want to study about butterflies, and when we check about that, you saw that about 50 species of butterflies are already known from Koravalangal area. And you are only going to collect the same number of butterflies, then what is the use of your research? Why your research should be, why you should proceed with your research? Already the people know that 50 species of butterflies are present in Koravalangal, and you are only going to say that 50 species of butterflies are present in Koravalangal, then that work is absolutely useless. So here there is an important aspect is that when you are doing a work, you have a responsibility to prove to the society or prove to the scientific world that your work is valuable. So, for example, you are saying that 50 species of butterflies are present, and I hope that in my present work I will be able to collect 75 species, so that I will be getting, I must get some research funding for this. Then people will be interested. Otherwise, if you are going to say that 50 species of butterflies and I will also collect another 50 species again, then nobody is going to support your work or nobody is going to give you any kind of research funding. So this is an important how the present research is related with the past research. So that area is, it shows the originality and relevance of your research problem. That you are going to study something and you want to prove to the society that your work is valuable, then only the society will be interested, society will be supporting you, society will give you the fund. All this depends on how thoroughly you are doing your past previous review of literature. It justifies your proposal methodology. Methodology means how you are conducting a research. For example, in the earlier case, if you are studying about butterflies, when you are reading the past literature, you come to the knowledge, you come to the understanding that that fellow was mainly studying butterfly in only grassland areas, most of the open air or gardens or grassland. He never visited any paddy field. He never visited any forested areas. So that there is a possibility of studying more species if I am visiting paddy field or I am visiting forest regions regions or other rubber estates, etc. So there is a possibility of more species discovery, because earlier the person was not going through a thorough methodology. He or she was mainly studying butterflies in her house compound or in a grassland. So that is a failure, that is a problem in their methodology. And if you are highlighting that methodology, then you prove to the you prove to a scientific committee that this was how the earlier person has conducted the research. Now I am thinking of going for a detailed exploration, detailed survey, so that I will be able to discover more species. So if you can if you can present the idea in such a way that people will be interested. So that is the third aspect, justifies your proposed methodology. Earlier, how the earlier persons were conducting the research and what you are going to do with your present do in your present work. All these will be coming in the literature will be can be obtained through thorough literature review. Then it demonstrates your preparedness to complete the research, because when you are doing the research, you came to know that 50 species of butterflies are already known from our area. That means you will be studying thoroughly what has been known, what are the important species that are already discovered, how much, which are the most common species. All these you will be knowing. So next time when you are seeing a new butterfly, you can immediately say that this is a butterfly that was not previously reported. So that is the advantage of literature review. So literature review will help you to find new discoveries in a faster way. So so that means you are well prepared to study about this topic. So that is the advantage of literature review. Identify new ways to interpret prior research. Only a person who has some knowledge about it can come to a conclusion easily, because unless you don't know anything about that, even if you see a new butterfly, a new species of butterfly, you are not going to identify it as a new species, because you don't know what is already known. So that is the advantage of thorough literature review. Then it also shows reveal any gap that exists in the literature. For example, regarding the butterfly itself, you can have hundreds of gaps. You may be checking that out of the 6 or 7 families of different species or different types of butterflies, only 2-3 families are reported from Kuruvalangar region. Other 3 families are not reported from Kuruvalangar region. That is a gap. So if you are finding a new species belonging to 4th family, then it is a major discovery. So that way, by going through a thorough literature review, you will be able to find out new species, new discoveries are easily possible, and you will be able to analyze your research, interpret your research, and the best and the most important thing is that when you have studied properly, you will be in a very good position to pinpoint that this is something new, this is something interesting, this is something not has been previously recorded. So that is the advantage of the thorough literature review. Resolve conflict among seemingly contradictory. So that is also a possibility of literature review. Then identify prior scholarship to prevent you. So one important thing scientific community or research community never encourage is that they do not encourage duplication. That is, if you know about 50 species of butterfly, you are also going to study that 50 species of butterfly. It is a duplication of research work. That is useless. That is not going to benefit either the society or the person in any way. So that kind of duplication of the work is not encouraged by any scientific research body. So reviewing literature can be time consuming. Daunting means challenging, very difficult. However, it is always rewarding, because if you study the previous literature thoroughly, there are a number of important benefits of literature review. So these are the important advantages of literature review. It helps you to acquire methodology used by other researchers. What kind of methods that has been employed by the previous scientist or previous researcher. It gives you an idea whether the methods and or other researchers used worked for them, and what are the problems they are facing. So that they are using mainly net for collection. They have not used other techniques. So sometimes it is not always possible to collect all the butterflies using net. Sometimes you can use a more professional zoom cameras can be used, so that instead of collecting, you are simply capturing the detailed photo of the butterfly. So that kind of different approaches can be used. So that is the one advantage of thoroughly studying the methodology, so that you will get new insight how your work can be improved, what you can do to improve your work, and how you can find more discoveries from that. So these are some of the important advantage of. Then it also makes you aware of the pitfall. Pitfall means what kind of problems that you are going to face. For example, if you have studied the literature review very thoroughly, then you will be able to discover any problem. You can predict. If I am going this way, I will be facing the same problem my previous researchers have been facing. So instead of going that way, I should choose a different way. So that is the advantage of thoroughly studying the previous literature. Your methodology can be improved to a lot extent. Then focus on the research problem. Review literature could help you shape your research problem because the process of reviewing the literature helps you to understand the subject area better and also to help you to conceptualize your research problem clearly and precisely. So this is one important advantage is when you study about the previous work, when you study about the previous literature, what are the things they have observed, what are the things they have analyzed, how many species they have collected, all these will give you a better idea to approach your work in a better way. So that is the advantage of going thoroughly for a literature review. It helps you to improve your research work in a very better way. Then third aspect is that cater to knowledge base for research area. One of the most important objectives of literature review is to ensure that you read widely around the subject area in which you intend to conduct research study. So this is a very important thing. So you are going to study about butterflies. What do you have to do? You have to study a lot. Unless you are not going to study because a lot, you are not going to find out anything. Nowadays, this aspect is greatly compromised because people are not making thorough study on that. Because of the artificial intelligence and this thorough study process may again get more discouraged because right now if I am going to AI, I can immediately pinpoint what are you just go to Google this what you call chat GPT. It is not then if I am typing the chat GPT is here, I will show you how this thing is going to reduce the no, it is not possible here. So in the case of chat GPT, if you go to the chat GPT, you can see that now I want to give me a list of previous work which have been conducted in Koravalangad area about butterflies. Within 1 second it will bring that. Earlier that was not possible. If you want to study about the butterflies of Koravalangad region or Kottayam region or Kerala region, you need to spend several months. Then only you will be able to collect all the literature, all the information which has been conducted by previous workers earlier. So this artificial intelligence is actually in a way reducing the reading habits. People are getting easy answer. For example, you want to know the capital of one place. You want to know about something. You just search in Google, you will immediately get the answer. So that is one important advantage as well as disadvantage. Because of that advantage, people will be able to get a quick answer, and quick answer always discourage reading habit. So nowadays people are not reading much this because of this kind of thing, and in the future world because of artificial intelligence, that reading becomes again and again discouraged. So one important quality every researcher should have is that researcher should read a lot. Unless you are going to read, that is why everybody cannot become a scientist. Only few people are becoming scientists. One is that most people are not ready to study deeply, study thoroughly, and also another important problem of all researchers is that facing the what is called the difficulties or accepting failure. This is also not possible for all the people. So unless you are thoroughly prepared for that, you won't be able to bring out anything new. Then contextualizing research finding. Obtaining answer for your research question is easy. The difficulty lies in how you examine your research finding in the existing body of knowledge. So when you are when you are studying about the butterflies of Koravalangad region, then you find that you have thoroughly studied about the 50 species already know. But simply seeing the butterfly in the field, you will be able to understand which one is the species. So when you are finding something new, you will be very quickly pointing out that this butterfly has not been discovered by anyone before. So that is an important thing. So only if you know what is already known, you will be able to analyze your present research, so that you will be able to bring something new, contribute something new. How do you answer your research question compared to other researchers concluded? How and what is the new knowledge contribution? That is an important thing in any research. What new knowledge you are going to give to the society? What new knowledge, information you are going to contribute to the scientific community? All these are important part of any research. So a good thorough deeper study in previous literature will always help you to proceed in a better way, so that you will be able to analyze your existing knowledge, your new anything that new because if you have studied very good, then immediately you will be able to find out that these things are new, this has not been discovered by anyone else previously. So that is the advantage of thorough literature study, and ensure novelty in your work. Then by doing a literature review, you do not run the risk of that is another problem. Earlier I told you, one person has discovered 50 species, you are also studying 50, discovering 50 species. That is, you are simply reinventing, redoing the same work. That is meaningless. So that will be like doing a practical. One batch has done one practical, another batch is again doing the same practical. There is no meaning, there is no new contribution. Only the person may be acquiring some skill, but no new knowledge is obtained by the scientific community or our society. Then these are the important aspect of any literature review. So suppose you are getting a question, what are the benefits of literature review? You should be able to, these are the important: improving the research methodology, improving you get a better focus on your research problem, then you will be able to cater to the knowledge base, then you will be able to contextualize in the research finding, then you will be able to improve the novelty in your work. So these are the important areas in your important advantages of doing a thorough literature review.